Okay, we are live. Greetings, everyone. I have some exciting updates to share in regards to the future of energy in Washington State and Zero Point Technologies. So, as you recall, I went to lobby in Olympia with the other constituents of the 6th District and beyond in Washington State for the clean energy bill to be passed back in January. And I am overjoyed to report that the clean bill has indeed passed. And I will go over some details of it now, but I would like to thank, from the bottom of my heart, all of the constituents of Washington State who came to Enviro Lobby Day and pressed our lawmakers make this happen. Because surely they would not have if we did not lobby. So, some notes here on the Clean Energy Bill. SB 5116, which has passed, to ensure that Washington State's utilities, many of which have shareholders with investments in fossil fuel and transport, make the right decision for climate and their customers' pocketbooks, rather than building out expensive new fossil fuel infrastructure. Washington State is already about 75% fossil fuel free. I am not quite sold on that. I think that's an inflated number. The article goes on to read, meaning we are well positioned for a smooth and orderly phase out of fossil fuels. The bill, which would set Washington on a path to 100% clean electricity by 2045, which is still too long in my playbook on my calendar, has passed the Senate and the House. Opposition to this bill has been notably muted, as many Washington State utilities have elected to participate in the policy development process rather than outright oppose the legislation. States such as Hawaii, California have already passed laws to transition into 100% clean. And we note that utilities such as Avista, such as Inland Power, will have to abide by this. Now, in my research that I've done, I have revealed that a lot of these environmental laws are very loosely enforced, so to speak, meaning even though there is a law stating that it is illegal to continue these types of fossil fuels, because of money and financial interest, which trumps, of course, civil service, law enforcement is a bit lax on actually enforcing those protocols. So that is something that we as constituents of Washington State are going to have to be very vigilant about. We are the only ones that are going to ensure that these laws are enforced. And I think it is our right, our honor, and our duty to do so. And as CEO of Zero Point Technologies, LLC, with the Clean Energy Bill now passing in Washington State, we have an immense door of opportunity that opens for us as a company. Tonight, I will be attending the 100% Clean Electricity Party, organized by local groups such as 350 Spokane, Fuse Spokane. And I am looking very forward to all the smiling faces in there. I am looking very forward to mingling with those who are also passionate about this clean energy, and possibly even mingling with those who are interested in working with us right at the forefront of clean electricity in Washington. Concerning company updates, the march toward our initial prototype continues. As technology continues to advance so rapidly, we are finding it difficult to settle in on a prototype design that we feel comfortable with and that we feel can at least last in that 6 to 9 month window of a launch prototype that can compete with our competitors. But again, it just seems like you no more than have a breakthrough in one field, such as magnetics or plasma or solar or hydrogen. And before you know it, it's already obsolete and it's been replaced by something that's become more efficient. And this is marching up to what is the technological singularity, which is going to be an eye-opening event for a lot of people, as the technological singularity basically rewrites history itself as we have come to know it, realizing that this technology has always existed and it is merely a controlling entity that has over linear time suppressed it and gradually let bit by bit out to the public people. Um, the transition is inevitable, and it's going to change everything. It's going to change the financial system, to change the political system, it's going to change the utility system, it's going to military system. As we know, the military has enjoyed a lot of these advanced technologies for decades. And I have no doubt that there will be civil unrest from people who learn the truth that this technology has basically been hidden from them and suppressed from them, even as our lawmakers, our military claim to serve us as civilian people. And it's going to unravel this tremendous conspiracy. And again, I say that word loosely because once you say that word, everyone has that pre-programmed alarm going off in their head to dismiss, dismiss, dismiss. It's going to become inevitable. We have 5G on the doorstep now, as I see cell phone towers going up all around us. And I do believe that the United States regime, as in our lawmakers, our politicians, have sold out the civilian people to the Chinese regime as they continue to buy up more swaths of land within the United States, as they continue to buy up more corporate interest within the United States. This big case with Huawei recently coming to light as they are pushing for 5G. I had an article recently come up on my feed about they are testing 5G in Glastonbury, and the results have not been very safe for the human cellular makeup, let alone any type of cellular makeup. So I do think that America is going to be the testing ground for a massive 5G experiment. And I highly advise everyone to be prepared for that. A lot of these newer types of technologies, which may be more efficient, which possibly might even be cleaner for the environment as in emission free, can be extremely harmful biologically to a living humanoid or animals. And this is, again, something that I feel the constituents of Washington State are going to have to be vigilant about. Energy users are going to attempt to dilute this legislation so they can get away with more of their dirty electricity or their harmful electricity, such as 5G. But this is a step in the right direction. I made it one of my life's goals, not only as Matthew, but as CEO of Zero Point Technologies, to abolish fossil fuels from this world forever. And I'm overjoyed to see that my attempts to lobby in Olympia with the other constituents of the state were successful. And we are indeed heading toward a future of clean and abundant energy. And I will continue to lead this crusade. I will use all the resources, information, everything I have to continue to build this company and march into the lead in taking up the banner of clean electricity, not only for Washington State, not only for Cascadia, but for the United States as a whole. And as I stated earlier, it began in my room as an idea. And I began to write things down. And before I know it, we were incorporating as a company. And before I knew that, we had a lab and we were branching out from educational into conducting our own research and development of prototypes. And this year, I've recently just found myself on the local and state stage. I hope to find myself on the national stage maybe next year, as we see more states are getting on this clean electricity bandwagon and hoping to get some legislation passed. Aside from that, personal updates, not much has been changing. I continue to stay isolated. I continue to keep distractions out of my life and stay focused on my work. I know that distractions are all around me. And in seeing gentlemen who have come before me who have tried to take this path, such as Nikola Tesla, such as Stanley Meyer, I know that I'm still fighting an uphill battle. But I feel with the knowledge, the integrity, the research that my company has, and with the community behind us, nothing can stop us. Rambling Patriots SNR, I just came in and I hear what you said before. Is it possible that all 5G antennas will transmit Tesla energy? Well, now see, this is all about the frequency, and 5G frequencies are harmful to a cellular living vessel. Now, they don't have to be. You can alter the frequencies to become resonant with the human energy field. However, that's not in corporate interest. And we know that sick people is sadly still a profitable industry in this nation. Um, so it's going to take an immense effort to try and completely block the 5G or to at least conduct a civilian investigation into the risks thereof. Because so far, most of the investigations I've seen are funded by state, federal, or national. And naturally, they're working with corporations. They basically work for the corporations. That's where the money's at. So it's only the vigilant citizen and the informed citizen and the integral citizen that's going to be able to at least get people to believe this with concrete, hard facts and information. But I see cell phone towers going up all around this city. I see them going up all around the big cities. In some cities, I think 5G is already underway. Now, it's not an instant threat, but over time, it's a slow killer. And that's how they are able to continue this archaic and, quite frankly, sickening agenda. Um, so, with 5G rolling out now and technology advancing so rapidly, in my research, in another 10 years, we're not even going to have to buy a physical cell phone anymore. We are going to have technology already inside of us that was implanted in us without our consent via nanotechnology, via the trails in the sky that many people still feel is a conspiracy. And it's going to be marketed to us, as in we pay and our cell phone has service and it rings, and we hear the cell phone ringing in our head. And via some type of gesture, we will be able to answer the phone, hang up the phone, browse the internet, possibly with some type of contact lens. Everyone is going to become transhuman. Basically, transhumanism is going to become one of the most popular things. And I feel that most people will embrace it without researching any of the risks accompanied thereof. And they're just going to jump on the bandwagon and think it's the greatest thing ever. So, again, as CEO of 0 Point Technologies, I can only continue to spread information. And tonight I will be speaking with others who are at least passionate about this industry. And yeah, that's about it for my updates, everyone. There are, of course, shadow entities that are always watching me and sending me messages as I proceed on this path that there will be resistance. But I think they're starting to realize now just how big of a threat I actually am to their system. And that much like them, I can work in the shadows and I can remain clandestine when I choose to be, and they can't touch me. The Freemasons are still trying to recruit me. It was interesting that they told me they are not Illuminati, but they recruit for Illuminati. And yeah, in closing, I just hope you're all safe, do your own research. And myself, I'm overjoyed to be celebrating tonight, celebrating a victory for clean electricity in Washington State, celebrating a victory for 0 Point Technologies, my company, which I founded merely on an ideal. We value prosperity over profit, and we know that profit comes naturally with prosperity. And I'm not exactly the kind of person to fit your carbon copy CEO role. I think that is evident by my videos here on YouTube, by what I choose to make public about my life. And I really have no intention of changing myself or the way I have proceeded for anyone or anything, because I've gotten to this point being who I am, and I will get to the point where I need to be by continuing to be who I am. And the great work continues. I know this. The work I have completed as Matthew Garcia in this life will carry on to the next. And should I return to this vessel again, I will continue this great work until it is completed. Trump wants the 5G. I do believe that it is harmful to be tuned to the human frequency. I have been following QAnon for over 2 years and have a lot of faith in what's going on. I have my reservations about Q, but it's undeniable that they are putting out some useful information to the vigilant citizens, to the patriots. As for Mr. Trump, I've respected some of the things Trump has said about the secret societies and the Justice Department, about the witch hunts, about Trey Gowdy. At the same time, I know that Mr. Trump is a Republican conservative. I know that he has a lot of money invested in fossil fuels and that he is also trying to put in a lot of oil pipelines, maybe even one here in Cascadia, which I think would be an absolute disaster, as we are long overdue for a seismic event here. And everyone just seems to forget the dangers of underground, not only electrical wires, but also natural gas pipelines and oil pipelines in the event of a large earthquake. It is absolutely detrimental. And I do not see eye to eye with Mr. Trump on any of these issues. Now, I'm not as anti-Trump as some liberals are. I am not a liberal. Some people will say that I have liberal tendencies and policies, but I identify as an independent. And I think that keeps me from a lot of the dogma of democracy and the republic. And I will remain an independent. I will not be bought out by any political party nor interest. And I'm happy to see that mayoral candidate Ben Stuckart of Spokane has signed a pledge to also not take money from fossil fuel or corporations. We gifted many cell towers with tower busters in our area. So you must be using Orgone, I'm guessing, for the cloud and tower busters. I know a lot of people stand by it 100%. I do believe that Orgone has some positive applications. We have yet to fully complete our research and development with Orgone, but there is potential there. The pyramid geometry itself has amazing properties, as I think most people are well aware, yet some people are still vastly unaware. The Great Pyramid of Giza is immune to cyclones and tornadoes and hurricanes. And this is merely because of the geometry. This is the esoteric science that mainstream science tends to black label. I can't wait for it to happen. You're doing a fine job. Keep up the good work. A lot of people look at people like us and think we're crazy, but we know better. Indeed. I've been down that route all too often. And I think you can sway people who think you are crazy with just some integrity and some information. I'm not trying to push a belief system on anyone. I merely encourage people to do their own research. For I know it is only the thirsty for knowledge that will ever find knowledge and will ever be able to apply that knowledge into wisdom. But I thank you as well, Rambling Patriots SNR, for coming in and continuing the good fight. I feel that it is inevitable now. It's only a matter of linear time before we have our victory. And we all know that history is rewritten by the victor of the war. So we need to be extra vigilant this time in ensuring that the victor not only rewrites history, but at least allow history to be unchanged and doesn't write in a false narrative, as has been the case over centuries, millennia of time in this realm. So yeah, 18 minutes in. I'm going to keep it somewhat brief, cut here. To summarize, the clean electricity bill has passed in Washington State. I went to lobby in January, and it seems that they heard us. I am gratefully thankful for everyone who's passionate about clean electricity, not only in Washington State, but abroad. And I hope to be working with more of you soon in the future. I will have more company updates here periodically as I can. And I thank you so much for coming in and listening to the words I have to say today. And I will have some video later tonight from the Clean Electricity Party, as I think that will be some good media for the company. And until next time, be smart, be vigilant, and be safe, everyone. And be well.